Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was always fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos or danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all will be kept in the pits. Not to mention that with members in over 130 countries already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series and work your way up to one of 7 world championships, offering over $500,000 in prize money. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome in here tonight, race fans, to the Texas Motor Speedway here tonight for a special showing of the Turbo Dork 135 here for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series for Red Light Racing. It's great to be back here in the great state of Texas. They always say everything is bigger in the state of Texas, and that's for sure will be the thing tonight with Turbo Dork Radical Paints 135 here tonight. Are your metals dull or boring? Well, slap on some bright metallics from Turbo Dork to make your gray world colorful. Head on over to www.turbodork.com to order some colorful hobby paints today. Whether you're a hobbyist for action figures or a hobbyist for stock cars, Turbo Dork has the right color to put some shine on your car today. We got to thank the fine folks over at Turbo Dork Radical Paints because, well, not only are they a sponsor, a couple of the cars here tonight featured in this race have a color from their catalog, and it's going to be a great one because the lights are on here at Texas, and these drivers are ready to go racing for 90 laps. Coming into the night, though, the talking points, Michael Trevarthen, one of those drivers. He's locked in. James Skelton, DJ Anderson, those drivers don't have to worry about tonight's race here, about trying to figure out if they're going to win or not. Max Terriot, Cole Day, Chris Hammett, Richard Murdoch, they've been all right there, close, but have not been able to park it in victory lane. Maybe one of these drivers tonight will be able to hit the hot note tonight and take that checkered flag. Win and you're in. That's how it is. But first, let's walk you through your starting lineup tonight, brought to us by our friends over at SimBox. Get your button box to start pushing the buttons to find your way to victory lane today. James Skelton will start tonight here on the pole. Starting to his outside, it'll be the driver of car number 17. That's Tim Combs. Michael Trevarthen in the number 2 Rev Esports group. He will start P3 here tonight, while Max Terriot will start 4th. 5th will go to the youngster Chris Hammett, hot off being behind the wheel of his real-life car. He'll start 5th. Dalton Williamson, we'll call him the Hurricane here tonight. The number 61 will start back into the 6th starting spot. Starting 7th, the number 24 of Zach Mitchell. 8th will go to the number 4 of Jeffrey Souza. 9th will go to the 999 tier of Cole Day, the rookie. And starting into the 10th spot, number 62 of Ethan Troutman. Jason Wells in the Alienware, number 64, will go from the 11th starting spot. Well, there it is. The Turbo Dork Radical Paints number 98 of Ryan O'Donnell will start back into the 12th spot. 13th on the call here tonight. He hails out of Virginia, the number 51. That's DJ Anderson. Joshua Buckley in the 13 MA will start back there into the 14th starting spot. Dustin Gainey, car 15, rolling from 15th here tonight. And starting back into the 16th starting spot, the Simbox Motorsports, number 77, that's Doug Neal. Back into the 17th starting spot here, the 921, that's DJ Strike Leather. Back into the 18th spot here tonight, the 912 entry, that is going to go to the driver. Out of Virginia, the number 912 entry, Eric Stout. Billy Edwards in car number 73 will start 19th, 20th on the grid, the number 33, that will be Eric Johnson. Back into the 21st spot, that's Richard Murdoch. And then starting right beside him, the number 38 of Brandon Feeney. Back into the 23rd spot, the Higgins Hill Racing Checkered Flag Auto Supply number 40, that is Rob Higgins. And back into the 24th position, the 184 out of Australia. The number 184 is Kevin O'Brien here tonight. AJ Watkins, Bob Higgins, and Tony Strano will round out our starting field here tonight in our Turbo Dork 135. Get ready to see the flash bulbs ignite here tonight for these drivers. What do you say? We throw a little paint on it. Beautiful color there from our friends over at Turbo Dork. Tonight, though, let's see which one of these colors that you see out onto the racetrack will be able to go to victory lane. 90 laps will start at the drop of the flag here. And they're already up and racing here tonight in Texas. Let's see which one of these horsepower ponies can go to victory lane. Great start by James Skelton. He'll lead the field down the back straightaway here on lap number 1. Fanned out about 3-4 wide back there. That's Philly Edwards. That was Richard Murdoch. And who is that? The 912. That's Eric Stout. They were all 3 wide at one point. They're able to all figure it out. Lap number 1, though, going to go to the number 86 of James Skelton. So he'll start tonight off with a big bang, but look who's trailing there into the second position. Here comes the BK Paints Rev Esports number 2 of Michael Trevarthen. They'll challenge down the back straightaway. First battle for position. Got to give it to the number 6. That's Chris Hammett. Rocking the old Abilene paint scheme. There's Dalton Williamson, though. Driver out of Florida, bracing for the hurricane, possibly hitting the Tampa area. Said he's battening down the hatches, but he's here tonight on Monday night to give her one final whirl. Right now, Dalton Williamson picked up the spot. He's now running into the 5th position here. One driver out of line. That's the number 4, Jeffrey Sousa, rocking some of those Turbo Dork colors. Turbo Dork famous for their blue and pink colors that they have on their logo, and he's representing them here tonight on his car. Not the only driver that's rocking those colors out there. Battle for the race lead, though, as there was the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen taking a peek to the inside. He wasn't quite able to do anything with it, so he tucks that Ford Mustang right back into line. He'll see if he can find another spot to make that pass for the race lead. Where is the driver that's got, well, those famous colors? There is the Turbo Dork Radical Paints, number 98, Ryan O'Donnell, the driver out of Canton, Michigan. He's picked up a spot here in the early going. He's passing up to number 64, Jason Wells. So that'll put Ryan O'Donnell now into the 11th position here tonight. He's got a little metallic flake in his color here tonight. You'll definitely see him under the lights pop. Skelton still out front as you see him all go single file, except for car number 51, DJ Anderson. Trying to get around the number 15. That's Dustin Gainey in car number 15. And the Mickey's Tax Service number 15. That Chevrolet is on the route here, picked up 2 spots since the drop of the green flag. Richard Murdoch is hot to trot there behind Anderson. There you see the eventual Pixel 01 of Richard Murdoch, the driver out of South Carolina. He has picked himself up into the 15th position. All the hunt to the front. There's the battle for the race lead. Is now going to be a 3-car battle because here comes number 17 of Tim Combs. Combs was the fastest driver in our practice session. One driver a little bit out of shape back there. I just saw it, and I believe that was the number 42 of Max Terriel. He was a little out of shape entering turn number 1. There you see him now currently holding that spot as there's the battle right behind him. Now that checkup allowed the number 4 on Souza to close in on the number 61 of Dalton Williamson. You saw Souza really back up corner number 3 there. Wasn't quite able to do anything with it. Just trying to get into a good routine right now. Save the tires just a little bit for the Souza Media number 4. Everybody just right down around the bottom in turn number 1. Looking at maybe a quarter of the way into the fuel run here tonight for these drivers. Souza now is underneath the 61 there of Williamson. He will pick up the spot that time out of turn number 4. Now Williamson will be stuck to the outside. 2 short track racers here battling side by side. Both got their start here with Red Light Racing in the short track divisions. It'll be Chris Hammond, the Legends driver, getting the better of Williamson. Williamson does fall back into line right ahead of Zach Mitchell. Mitchell battling a little bit of a, called a throat cold. He was at the Minnesota game the other day, and his voice is a little hoarse. A couple of these drivers are battling some illness also. One of those drivers, well, he drives the number 3. There you see Tony Strano. Strano, unfortunately, battling COVID right now. He's here tonight to see if he can make a go of it. He is up 7 spots from when he started. He's one of those drivers that you try to get him to say a couple words, and you can definitely tell he's feeling under the weather. He's trying to get around the number 912 of Eric Stout right now. Stout is currently sitting into that 20th position. Tony Strano would like to take that spot if he could here. And there's the battle, though, for the race lead. Still called a 3-car, a little bit of a breakaway from the rest of the field. Max Terriel, he's one of those Wiley veterans. We talk about Max a lot. We talk about him always saving a little bit of fuel. Could that be possibly what Max is doing here? Just staying in reach of the race leaders, but holding up this pack just enough that if he needs to go, he can get a little more horsepower out of that Ford Mustang. Here comes Williamson back down to the inside, though, in turn number 1. Put Chris Hammond back to the outside group, where we haven't seen anybody really make any passes tonight. Hammonds able to hold on to it for the time being to the outside there. Now he's no longer going to be able to. He'll fall back into line. As Cole Day, one of those drivers now to the outside, because here comes Ryan O'Donnell. He'll work himself inside the top 10. Turbo Dork Radical Paints number 98 on the hunt. So now as O'Donnell picked off the number 999 entry, there's the alien number 64, Jason Wells. He'll make that pass also. It looked for a moment like he was going to try to go for the 2-for-1 special, but wasn't quite able to. Troutman, though, right ahead of them. He's trying to get underneath the DuPont Chevrolet, the number 24 of Zach Mitchell. He'll do it. Put Mitchell back a spot. Now Ryan O'Donnell will be the next one to that number 24. Murdoch trying to methodically work his way up through the field here. He's now getting around the number 15 of Dustin Gainey, and he'll try to get the number 13 here of Joshua Buckley off the corner. Looks like he should be able to clear the number 13 MA of Joshua Buckley down here in the corner. Buckley able to hold serve, though, and get ahead of number 15 of Dustin Gainey. So that'll hold him at least one spot closer to the top spot here in the battle for the top. It is now a 2-horse race because Tim Combs, well, he's starting to fade a little bit here. Was trying to look to take a peek if there was any damage on the 17 that he possibly got into the turn 4 wall. That is the trouble spot for a lot of these drivers here in their practice session. But actually, it looks pretty good. Max Terriel, though, will pick up P number 3 from Tim Combs, so he'll bump that Ford Mustang back a spot. Tonight, though, the field is being led by a Toyota and a bunch of Fords. There's 4 Fords into the top 5 right now. The first Chevrolet is Dalton Williamson running back into the 6th position. Battle for the race lead into 1. Michael Trevarthen will dive to the inside. The 86 as Skelton says it's a little too early for me to go out there and try and push the envelope, so he will currently hold that 2nd spot. Souza getting moved to the outside there. Williamson came through. Now here comes Chris Hammett. Williamson, one of those drivers who always says, get my window cleaner ready. Well, here tonight, a lot of these drivers are going to have to get some window cleaner because that car is one of the fastest on the speedway. One car falling through the field there. I believe that was Wells and Mitchell maybe making a little contact, or something happened that time down in 1. It blinked up on the scoring tower that there was problems. I don't see any scrapes, dents, or dings on either of those Chevrolets. So right now, they just fall into line. Racing the 64 Wells trying to get to the back bumper of Troutman, maybe give him a little arrow push and get him a little loose. Skelton back to the top spot, though, as, well, a lap for Michael Trevarthen, and then he goes back to the 2nd spot. His car is maybe just getting up out of the groove out of turn number 1, because we've seen both passes down in 3 and 4. And here comes the wily veteran, the storm from the north of Max Terrill. He'll pull into this battle now. 3 cars still, a little bit of a breakaway, but now we have a new tail of this breakaway, and that's the 42 of Max Terrill. Peek into the inside here of the Rockstar Energy Chevrolet. That's Cold Day. That's working the outside. Murdoch trying to continue his charge through the field here tonight. That'll be his 8th spot gain since the drop of green flag. So Murdoch picking up 8. That'll put Cold Day down 5 spots from where the young rookie started his campaign here tonight. Dustin Gainey and Doug Neal also right there in the tire tracks of both those Chevrolets. That's what the front looks like right now. It is what we call 2 car lengths. 3 car lengths now is actually Skelton started to really turn on the heat that time out of turn number 4. As he pulled about 3 car lengths on the front straightaway over the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen. Max Terrill is right there, and I think pit stops are probably coming in the next 8 laps here for a lot of these drivers. Chris Hammett saying he needs a spot before we come to pit road. Chris Hammett picks up the spot there from Dalton Williamson. They've passed that spot back and forth a handful of times here tonight. Hot potato 1, hot potato 2, and they can't figure out who wants to have that spot, who wants to lead each other. For about 5 laps, it might be Chris Hammett, and then it might be Dalton Williamson. 42 of Max Terrill to the inside here in turns 1 and 2. They'll do the Texas 2-step. Pick up the spot, maybe trying to get up there to challenge James Skelton for the race lead here before we hit the green flag pit cycles tonight. Doug Neal here underneath the number 999 of Cold Day. Eric Stout, the 6 Rings Racing entry. Here the horsepower ponies up underneath this car. Here everybody trying to play with the throttle. You can hear Cold Day on the outside there. Couldn't quite get back to the throttle 100%. There's your race leaders down the back straightaway. Noseville for 1, 2, and 3. Max trying to go to the inside here with a run. Couple drivers coming to pit road, too. About 3 drivers on pit road. Call it 6 drivers now and counting coming to pit road. As Max Terrell, we kind of guessed it, trying to get the race lead before the pit stops. Down to the 3, he has completely cleared. The number 86 is Skelton. Does Max stay out to lead a lap? That'll be a bonus point for him. And car number 42, he does. See everybody coming out of pit road. Wells, Mitchell, Combs, and Rob Higgins. Now the next driver's coming to pit road. There's Kevin O'Brien coming down. He'll be the only car on pit road this time by. That is the new race leader. He has pulled a half a second over James Skelton. Take a look off the race leader. Here, Max Lift going down into corners 1 and 2, and hear how far he carries that. Off the loud pedal and just carrying it. Couple drivers down here, the Simbox 77 and the 6 Rings Racing number 912. Oh, Neil having some problems, overshot the box, had to back it up. That is going to kill some of that time. Here comes the number 40. Nope, just the 2. Thought the 42 was coming with the 2, but he will not. That'll bring Dalton Williamson along with him to pit road, and here comes the slew. The floodgates have now opened. So some of these drivers trying to hit lap 30 to make it a 2-stop race for sure, and okay on fuel. And here comes the race leader. Max Terrell will peel off. He'll bring James Skelton along with him. So your top 3, because Chris Hammett is coming down, and oh, Jeffrey Souza with a big moment trying to come to pit road in car number 4. Souza got it woe down, but boy, was it kind of hectic coming to pit road. DJ Anderson, Cole Day playing the long run game here tonight. There you see the Fox. Number 51 out front here with Cole Day just a little bit farther back in traffic. Anderson did get credited with leading the last lap. So let's see if he comes to pit road. It looks like he will peel off pit road here. Cole Day also going to come to pit lane in the 999 Rockstar Energy Chevrolet. That should turn things back over to those 2 that are nose to tail, but they're going to get leapfrog Zach Mitchell, Jason Wells. Our drivers that are going to be out front here. Zach Mitchell, your new race leader when he comes back around here to hit the time in the scoring stripe. Wells says, hold on a minute, let me see if I can poke the nose of my Chevrolet down there. He tries to, but he's going to get it cut off. The door's going to be slammed on the nose of that Alienware 64. Up-to-date scoring on the left-hand side of your screen. Zach Mitchell, Jason Wells, Tim Combs, Michael Trevarthen, James Skelton out front here tonight. That's how they look here tonight in the Turbo Dork 135 here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Tonight's race is brought to you by TurboDork.com. Put a little metal paint in your repertoire. Bright metallics from Turbo Dork make your gray world colorful. As it's definitely colorful out there tonight. These cars flashing by our cameras tonight here at Texas. There's that Turbo Dork machine. Ryan O'Donnell back here, running into the 12th position. That's exactly where the driving at Canton, Michigan started tonight. Sitting behind Dalton Williamson. A little slow stop there for Williamson, that time on pit road. His crew, we talked about, he's a short track racer, not used to making a lot of pit stops, and when they do, they're usually under caution circumstances. So when they come to Monday night here in the big tracks, sometimes they get a little confused. There's your top 3 under a blanket here. Here comes Michael Trevarthen. Wells sees him in the mirror. He's just going to absolutely pull over. He'll let the number 2, the Rev Esports number 2, go waltzing right on by. Now it'll be Zach Mitchell, the next driver. And Mitchell, actually, he's going to do the same thing. It looks like he's going to go to the high side here, give Trevarthen the bottom groove if he would like it. At the line, it'll still be Zach Mitchell leading here on lap number 34. Racing lap number 45 for the halfway point home here. Almost a little contact there. Maybe there was an air buffer in between those two cars. I saw the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen wiggle just a little bit. They do call him the Big Wiggle, and, well, that's why, because he can wiggle that car all around the speedway and still hang on to it. So now Michael Trevarthen to the point here tonight. Had a handful of different leaders here in the early stages of this one. And the whole field is starting to spread themselves out. Look at them as they come by the stripe. There's Kevin O'Brien, our driver from Australia. Yeah, that's right. We said he's from Australia, race fans. Races here, East Coast time, 8 p.m. every Monday night. One of the second longest running active driver, I do believe, here on Monday night. Him and Joshua Buckley are the 10-year drivers. It's always good to see those long-term commitments from drivers here on iRacing. Just like Tim Combs is going to have to commit to the bottom side here, and he's going to try and take the Kingsford Ford. In the second, he will do that. So it's Michael Trevarthen, Tim Combs, Zach Mitchell, and here comes the alien, the number 64 of Wells. See the 950, that is A.J. Watkins going a lap down to the race leaders. I'm being told there's one driver out there. There he is. The 01 of Richard Murdoch. He actually only put 2 tires on here under the pit stop. So under green flag pit stop. It was the 01 trying to roll a little bit of the dikes here in the early stages of this one. Has plenty of tires down on pit road here tonight at Texas. We will have, I believe, we have 3 sets plus what was on the car to start this race. So technically 4 sets of tires here. Murdoch trying to hold on to a little bit of those left sides. See how far these 2 tires can take him. Zach Mitchell under attack. The Skelton has now got around him. And now here comes Max Taylor. Of course, when you look at the scoring sheet, the 24 of Zach Mitchell, he pitted along with Wells and Combs on lap number 25. So if my math and my arithmetic is right, they should be pitting here at about 10 to 15 laps again. See how far Zach Mitchell is going to fade through the field here, though. He's going to fall now back to the 6th position. Nothing changing at the front of this field here. Dustin Gainey is closing in on the 33 of Eric Johnson. These 2 drivers back here battling for the 16th and 17th position. Both of them have been hovering around the top 15 all night long since the drop of the green flag. Pass inside the top 3, though, James Skelton. Get around Jason Wells. It'll put the alien back a spot. Remember, Skelton was inside the top 3 when the green flag pit cycle all started. He came down on lap number 29. And since then, he's just been kind of rolling around inside the top 5. Doesn't seem like he's trying to push the envelope. Michael Trevarthen is pretty much, well, he's way out ahead, 1.8 seconds over that second place machine. Take a look, right on board with the race leader here. If you think he's saving, there is no saving for the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen. Trevarthen, one of those Rev Esports drivers. He's located down in Florida. He's, well, one of those drivers that is in the wake of the hurricane that's starting to form down in the Gulf and the Atlantic. He says he's going to ride out that storm on Thursday when it hits up there in the area. Got a generator. He said if you're a Thursday night follower of Red Light Racing, he said he will be there. He's got 2 generators and a bunch of fuel, so he will power up his computer and hope that at least the internet stays on. Otherwise, he said he is going wireless connection. He will be there Thursday. That's commitment. That is dedication. Just like, well, trying to hold on to this. This is dedication right now. 24 of Zach Mitchell fading here in this long run. See number 6 of Chris Hammett just got by him. So put Zach Mitchell back into the 7th spot. He's got about a 1.1 second over Richard Murdoch. There you see Murdoch back there. Murdoch is running in 8th currently here. At the next time by, it'll actually be the halfway point. Race leader just seems like he's out there by himself, but I promise you, he is not. It's a 2-second deficit, though. That lead has grown. Remember, last time it was a 1.8 second gap when we checked down the front drivers here. But as we hit the halfway point home here tonight, it'll be Michael Trevarthen leading the way in Texas. So as we're halfway home in Texas, Chris Hammett says, I'm boot scooting boogieing down to the inside. He's trying to get around number 17 of Tim Combs. And he will make that spot stick. So Combs back to now running. Oh, Combs coming to pit road here. An abrupt left-hand turn off the racing surface. And that Kingsford charcoal entry coming to pit road. He'll be the first one to pit road here. This is a scheduled stop here for Tim Combs. Tim Combs will bring down Rob Higgins and Brandon Feeney. Feeney's been very quiet here tonight. There you see the driver in car number 38. We almost couldn't even find him. He's got color on his car here tonight. Usually we see the red, white, and blue Canadian themed on all of his cars. Tonight here we got the Menards Jack Lynx entry. He said he wanted to participate, throw a little bit of color on that car here tonight. And bright colors it is. I didn't even know it was his car out there. They didn't give me a list of cars. Can you believe it? Right now, Feeney back here running into the 27th position. Trevarthen just behind him. Feeney's already 1 lap down, so he doesn't want to fall another lap down to the race leader of Michael Trevarthen. Jason Wells also coming to pit road, so 2 drivers inside the top 10 have peeled off to make their service. Does look like James Skelton is starting to make his way a little bit closer to Michael Trevarthen. He's bringing Max Terriot right along with him, so it's a Ford, a Toyota, a Ford, and then 2 Chevrolets inside the top 6 here. Check up on the Turbo Dork Radical Paints, number 98 of Ryan O'Donnell. He's up into the 7th position here tonight, having himself a very good run. Waiting to see when he lines up to come to pit road. Zach Mitchell under fire. You got 2 cars with flames, and flames coming out the right-hand side of that DuPont Chevrolet. You can tell that Zach Mitchell has been into the outside wall a time or 2. That's not going to help the aerodynamics on the number 24 of Zach Mitchell. Murdoch, though, is shown here all night long, has one of the fastest cars. There you see the Adventure in Pixel 01 entry. Looks like there's the 24 coming to pit road, Zach Mitchell. Oh, and Murdoch going to tag the wall. He got tight because he tried to miss the car entering pit road there of Zach Mitchell. And now Murdoch put himself in a bad spot. And Murdoch was up into the outside wall. Ryan O'Donnell is going to take advantage and take the Turbo Dork Radical Paints, number 98, inside the top 5 for the first time here tonight. So now Murdoch has some damage on that 01 entry. You see it on the right-hand side. The right front fender is tore up just a little bit. Driver coming to pit road, though, it is the number 2. There he is, Michael Trevarthen coming to pit road here. He'll come to pit road in the team car, the number 61, Dalton Williamson, also coming to pit road. When does James Skelton and Max Terriot along with Chris Hammett come? You see those 3 cars all sitting within 1.6 seconds of each other for the race lead. Murdoch Murdoch getting passed up by DJ Anderson. You saw him go by in the number 51. Now Murdoch will fall in line. Doesn't have to worry right now. It looks like Jeffrey Souza would be the next car. He's about a second back off the trunk lid, but Murdoch doesn't look like he can quite hit the bottom side of the speedway right now. Car looks definitely a little bit tight here now since he hit the outside wall in turn number 4 after he had avoided the number 24 of Zach Mitchell, who was coming to pit road. They were nose to tail into 24, just made the left-hand turn. Spotter just wasn't quite able to get down there in time to let the 01 know that he was coming to pit road. Will the race leaders come to pit road, though? James Skelton is the driver that is out front. Drew Skelton with a little bit of a block there on the number 42 of Max Terrill. Terrill going to still take it to the inside down here in turn number 1. He'll try to slide up on the exit. He will. He'll use all the track. Race leader now being scored. Car 42, Max Terrill. The MK Medic machine to the point here. So it'll be Terrill and then James Skelton. Chris Hammett, Ryan O'Donnell, and DJ Anderson. Your top 5 runners here at lap number 55. So the strategy is starting to really show its head now. You can tell which drivers are trying to make it to lap number 60, and I believe that is going to be your race leaders trying to make it to lap 60. Tim Combs, Jason Wells, Michael Trevarthen all have come to pit road and are done with their service, along with Zach Mitchell, Dalton Williamson. They've made their service, they've made their call here tonight, and now they should be able to leapfrog the race leaders. But those race leaders that you see, they're going to have fresher tires, and they will be able to come out here and they will be able to use all 4 Goodyear Racing Eagle tires to try and run them back down. Driver coming back out onto the raceway. That's that Chevrolet. That is DJ Strikeleather, one of those rookies making his second start here. DJ, one of those drivers that mainly dabbles in the dirt side of thing and a little bit of short track racing when he's on iRacing, but here trying to get a grasp on these, well, varying cars that they run here on Monday night here with Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series for Red Light Racing. They run the Xfinity car, the Cup car, the truck, the Arkham Menards machine. So they get a whole skew of different cars to run on Monday night. Contact a little bit deeper back there. I believe that was going to be Ryan O'Donnell making contact, I think. I saw it out the corner of my eye. Ryan O'Donnell, and I believe, was that the 184 of Kevin O'Brien. I'm being told it was the 184 of Kevin O'Brien. O'Brien was just down on pit road. He was faster than the 98. They made the contact. And now here comes O'Donnell. Will bring it to pit road. Looking at the car, and it looks pretty solid. I don't see any real damage on the 98. He'll come to a stop in his pit stall. It'll be 4 tires and fill her up with fuel, and away he'll be ready to go. Race leader is now coming to pit road. There comes the 42. There's the 86. That's the gap that you see on your screen. That's the gap for the race lead. That's the battle as they come to pit road with 31 laps to go. DJ Anderson, Ethan Troutman, and Cole Day will cycle to the front right now, but they will be some of the last drivers to hit pit road here tonight. DJ Anderson, car sounded a little sour that time coming by the camera. Now DJ Anderson will make his way to pit road. They'll bring Troutman along with them. There's Cole Day coming. It looks like the 99 is slowing. There's the young engineer. So this should start to cycle back through. Oh no, unfortunate. Max Terrill having a pit road penalty, a very rare pit road penalty for the 42 of Max Terrill. Down on pit road being held. Now he's down and away after a very lengthy 35-second hold here tonight for Max. That'll probably be the end unless a yellow flag were to fly. Max will go a lap down to the race leaders. He's a lap down plus 10 cars is what I'm thinking. As I saw the 98 of Ryan O'Donnell go flashing by the camera. So after the green flag pit cycles, it cycles through to look like this. It's Tim Combs out front with the 64 of Wells sitting right there, P number 2. P3 is Michael Trevarthen. You see him right there. He's about, a half second from the race leader as they work down the back straightaway. And then it's almost 5 seconds back to find that 4th place runner. Battle for the race lead, though, here in front of the number 2. That is Jason Wells going to the point. He'll take the race lead. Here comes that screaming Rev Esports number 2. As that'll be Michael Trevarthen trying to take the top spot. Trevarthen not wasting any time. He'll go to the inside. He has about 4 lap fresher tires as they work down the back straightaway. So Michael Trevarthen, who's being scored as the race leader, has a very heavy foot here tonight at the Texas Motor Speedway. I think he wants to see if he can get himself a cowboy hat. So Trevarthen to the race lead here. There's 27 laps remaining here tonight at the Texas Motor Speedway here tonight in the Turbo Dork 135 and Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series, presented by Red Light Racing here on Monday night. So as you see, Michael Trevarthen really gap that 2nd and 3rd place machines. There is James Skelton. He is, sitting currently 3.6 seconds back, and I'm looking at it. It looks like Skelton actually took 2 tires on that pit stop, so a 2-tire stop for James Skelton. There you see the Flowertown Animal Hospital, 2-time champion of the series. Who's your biggest mover? Shaker at the dance here tonight. There you see that Toyota. Doesn't get to run very often here on Monday night. That is Eric Stout, the driver out of Virginia. He is currently up 11 spots here tonight. Having himself a very solid, uneventful, somebody knock on wood, because I know Eric's going to be out there listening. I don't want to jinx the driver out of Virginia. He's not very far from home, Alternative 3 Studios. Just a couple hours drive, he could be knocking on the door yet tonight. So Eric Stout, right there. 7th spot, up 11 spots here tonight. Driver who is having a good run and now is under attack. That's Richard Murdoch. Murdoch, remember, slammed the outside wall out of turn 4, and ever since then has been in a downward slide. He's back into the 14th spot, but look at Jeffrey Souza. Souza taken 2 tires and just doesn't seem to have played out for the Souza media entry. He's back here to the 16th spot. Ethan Troutman now is going to get around him. So Troutman being scored in 15th now puts Souza way back into the 16th spot. Souza hasn't had any contact or spins or anything here tonight. Slight contact to the outside wall just like Murdoch had. Other than that, his night's just been, quiet. His colors are loud, but him tonight on the timing and scoring sheets will read quietly. The race leader still out front with 23 laps to go. He'll come pick off another one. It'll be just 22 laps around this 1.5-mile speedway here in Texas. Michael Trevarthen is the race leader here tonight of the Turbo Dork 135, and he's got almost a 2-second gap over 2nd and 3rd right now on the scoring. Where is the 2nd and 3rd battle? Because, it's a battle that's on. There's 86, James Skelton. He'll pick up that spot, waiting from Jason Wells. So Skelton now into 2nd, has about 1.6 seconds to go catch the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen, who is out front here at Texas in the closing laps of the Turbo Dork. 135, and drivers to pit road here. Drivers to pit road with 21 laps to go. It'll be Jason Wells, Tim Combs, Josh Buckley, and Doug Neal coming to pit road with 21 laps to go here. Not sure if these are scheduled stops for a lot of these drivers. They may have just miscalculated on the fuel and said we might as well come now if we're going to come at all. Seen a couple of these drivers hit that 60 mark lap on their strategy. Zach Mitchell now out of the top 3 coming to pit road. If my math is right, James Skelton should be able to make it on fuel. So should Chris Hammett. Here comes the race leader. That's going to tell you a lot right there. He last pitted back on 51. He was short on fuel. So with 19 to go, Michael Trevarthen will give up the race lead. As James Skelton now possibly going to be able to put it in cruise control mode. Let's follow along and listen. You heard him that time down into 1. Lifted a little bit. Try and save a little fuel. Maybe he came by the camera that time. We're not on board with him. Trying to save fuel a little bit. Does have a 1.3 second gap over Chris Hammett. How about Ryan O'Donnell now? They got the turbo Dork. Radical Pinks, number 98, sitting there in 3rd, and I'm looking at him. He is on the bubble of being able to make it. He pitted on lap number 58. You know, a lot of these drivers, you can hear him coasting as he came by the camera there. So a lot of these drivers going into fuel conservation mode. What does that mean? Well, that means when they go down into turns 1 or 3, they're lifting completely out of the gas and pushing the clutch in, allowing the RPMs to drop, allowing the motor to not spin or rev as high or as hard. Well, in terms, not consuming that much fuel. There's the number 6. Chris Hammett says, nope, not going to make it. He'll come to pit road. Ryan O'Donnell, though, staying on the strategy. You see the flames out the right-hand side exhaust early, that time into turn number 1. Here comes the 24. Not a battle for position. The 24 of Zach Mitchell way down the running order back into the 20. Or sorry, that's the 16th spot for car number 24. Ryan O'Donnell's going to get a little bit of a tow here. There you see the 51 of DJ Anderson. Anderson pitted back on lap 60. I'm pretty sure the 51 of DJ Anderson pitting on lap 60 is going to put him a half a lap to the good on fuel. So I think that Fox Toyota, number 51 of Anderson, is good to go here tonight. As you see him boot scoot boogie down to the inside of Ryan O'Donnell. So DJ Anderson taking car number 51 now into the 2nd position. The running order is all jumbled and scrumbled up here tonight. The 99 of Cole Day, who was almost a lap down, now finds himself running into the 5th position. There's Jeffrey Sousa. We talked about him and Richard Murdoch and how they had their woes a little while ago. Now, inside the top 10 again. One driver that came to pit road put, looks like 4 tires and fuel on in lap number 71. He is definitely good to go. He was one of the fastest drivers here all night long, leading a bunch of laps. He's 1 lap down. That's the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen. He's sitting back into the 10th spot. We'll see where he is able to climb to before the end of this one. Murdoch under attack. Eric Johnson right there. Remember the damage on the 0-1 of Murdoch, making Johnson go to the outside. If he wants the spot, he's going to have to go to the outside. Johnson says, no, I need to save a little fuel too. See Brandon Feeney back here. He's right there in the Menards Jack Links. Number 38, Brandon Feeney looking for some tire sponsorship help. So if you're out there and want to get your name out onto the internet, social media platforms from Brandon Feeney and maybe on the car. He's looking for some tire sponsorship for the next couple of weeks up there in Ontario, Canada. Picked up 1 feature win this season up there in Canada. Race leader has extended his race lead just a little bit. It's 11.8 seconds, and this time, when he comes by, that's not a battle for position, as you see the number 2. Michael Trevarthen, remember, came to pit road. He is 2 seconds a lap faster right now than your race leader, James Skelton. But James Skelton will look up into the sky when he comes by the line. We'll see 10 laps to go here tonight in the Turbo Dork 135 at the Texas Motor Speedway here for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series, presented by Red Light Racing here tonight at the Texas Motor Speedway. There goes Chris Hammett, not a battle for position. Last time by, James Skelton was exactly 2 seconds slower than his best lap time here tonight, so you can tell he is just trying to save a little bit of fuel. DJ Anderson, there he comes past the camera down the back straightaway. He started to pull away from the number 98 Ryan O'Donnell. O'Donnell back there into the 3rd spot. He's still trying to save fuel, and he's got a big gap back. I call big gap, call it almost 4 seconds back till, there you go, there's the body armor number 62. But he's in the same strategy that Ryan O'Donnell is, so he's trying to save as much fuel as he can here tonight. That's Ethan Troutman. Cole Day is sitting currently about, 5.5 seconds back. With 9 laps to go, the car 999 rounds down the top 5 here tonight. Joshua Buckley back here in the Granny Hips Walkers and Canes, number 13 MA, trying to run down Dalton Williamson. Williamson, remember, really strong in the early goings, started to really fade here in the late goings. The pit stops are absolutely killing this team. Williamson way back into the 17th spot, and he is just 1 lap down, so there is still hope for the driver. Murdoch into the outside wall again, that time out of turn number 4. So Murdoch slaps the wall. Michael Trevarthen and Chris Hammett goes screaming on by. You can tell Murdoch's car very wounded. He'll go to the inside here. He'll allow the rookie A.J. Watkins to go around the outside of him. Not a battle for position. As now Tim Combs will come upon the 0-1. So Murdoch fading here with under 10 laps to go at Texas. 6 to go. There's the driver in car number 86. He's out front, 11.8 seconds. So it's kind of being held steady between 11.5 and, 12 seconds between the top 2 cars here tonight. James Skelton does not have to push the envelope if he does not want. There's nobody behind him pressuring him here. The deficit now back up to 12 seconds as this time by. It'll be just 5 fingers in the air hanging out over the flag stand, representing 5 more laps of racing here at Texas. Still trying to save fuel as he came by the camera there. Trying to get the draft from Richard Murdoch, one of his team cars out in front of him. You heard him clutch it going into 3. That just shows you how close they are on fuel here tonight. James Skelton, who is the race leader, trying to do everything he can to nurse it back around here, taking the shortest distance around the speedway. That time shut it off halfway down the back straightaway. It is max save tonight. Cole Day losing a spot there to the number 6 of Chris Hammett. Who is going to make it? Who is going to run out? It'll be 3 to go at the line. Here's James Skelton. He's going to pray that the 24 of Mitchell runs the bottom here, trying to get a little tow from the wake of the draft of that Chevrolet. Get him a little pull down the back straightaway, maybe. Everybody trying to nurse it back. At the line. Wind them up. Toss them in the air. It'll be the popsicle sticks with 2 laps to go. 3 miles of racing here tonight in the Turbo Dork 135 here at the Texas Motor Speedway. See Max Theriault right behind the number 86. Not a battle for position. Max hit the pit road penalty. He's back into the 14th spot. 1 lap down. If he can make the pass here on James Skelton, that would put him back onto the lead lap, but it's not really going to do much for him if he can. Cole Dage dropping another spot there to Michael Trevarthen, but this time by the white silk goes in the air here tonight in the Turbo Dork 135. It's the final 1.5 miles of racing here tonight at Texas, as James Skelton out front here. Just has to come back around one more time. Half a lap to go for the Flowertown Animal Hospital. Number 86, the Toyota here tonight, being the class of the field. Able to play the strategy, roll the dice here tonight in Texas. He'll wear the cowboy hat. He'll grab the 6 shooters. The 2-time champion James Skelton will go to victory lane here tonight in the Turbo Dork 135. So as he finishes off tonight, first, second will go to DJ Anderson. He'll bring the Supra home, 1 and 2. Then it'll be Ryan O'Donnell holding on for the 3rd spot here tonight in the Turbo Dork. Radical Paints number 98. Ethan Troutman will come across in 4th. It'll be Chris Hammett, Michael Trevarthen, Eric Johnson, Jason Wells, and Cole Day. Then Jeffrey Souza. Cole Day running out of fuel out of turn number 4. Tim Combs, Zach Mitchell, and Richard Murdoch rounding down your top 13 cars. Max Terrill and Doug Neal, your 14th and 15th place finisher. There's your winner here tonight. Might be out of fuel. Maybe he can do some donuts for us here tonight. Nope. It looks like that's about to be where the car is going to rest here tonight. Unofficial scoring on the left-hand side of your screen here tonight. Take a quick look at it. Find where your favorite driver finished here tonight in the Turbo Dork 135 here from the Texas Motor Speedway here tonight. The Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series for red light racing. The big cars, the big tracks on display as the stars shine bright like some of those paints over there with our friends at Turbo Dork. Well, we're going to take a quick step away. We'll be back here to the Texas Motor Speedway with your post-race show after these messages.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was always fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos or danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all will be kept in the pits. Not to mention that with members in over 130 countries already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series and work your way up to one of 7 world championships, offering over $500,000 in prize money. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back, race fans, here to the Texas Motor Speedway tonight here for the Turbo Dork 135. It's officially in the books. We've thrown the paint on the Speedway. Tonight, this one is in the books, and it's going to go to James Skelton. Let's head down trackside here to talk to the driver of car number 86. James, you're able to park it in victory lane here tonight at the Texas Motor Speedway to pick up your 2nd win of the season. But this one came in a little bit different as you had to save some fuel here to get this Supra across the line.
Yeah, 10-4, Roger. That was a lot of fun. It's pretty stressful. I was just trying to manage the whole race against Max. I don't know what happened to him at the end, so I decided to take 2 tires and just to get 3 or 4 second head start on him. And I don't know if he had a penalty or what happened, but then on that last run, I thought I was going to have enough fuel, and then 15 laps into it, I was a lap short, so I had to start saving like crazy.
How hard is it here, not exactly knowing who took what, 2 tires, 4 tires, the full tank of fuel, who pitted when, and whatnot. How hard is it to really know all that and then try to save fuel and hope that nobody's catching you?
Yeah, for sure. I knew Max was on the strategy just because we were driving around each other so much. I knew DJ would. I just think that his qualifying probably set him back. That it was hard for him to save fuel and then try to make it up to the front at the same time. So once I knew Max had his issue, I went down my relatives, saw who was the closest, and lo and behold, there was DJ and then my teammate Ryan. So good job on his finish. So at the end, I was saving, and the gap really wasn't closing any. So I thought it was going to be okay.
Well, you were definitely okay here tonight with saving the fuel and getting it across the line. Next week, I can promise you we don't have to save fuel at all. I know you really like the place that we're going next. We're going back home to South Carolina, the Ark Menards cars, and a little short track racing at the Myrtle Beach Speedway.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I don't know. I know I've raced there before. I don't remember the line. The ARCA cars usually, it has been my weakest link, but with Bristol, the first race of the season, that was kind of an anomaly. So hopefully I can put the time in and get the understanding of, how the car feels, and hopefully we can have a pretty clean race. It'll be fun.
Definitely be fun next week when we head to Myrtle Beach. But here tonight, you win tonight's race here for the Turbo Dork 135. We're going to roll the red carpet out tonight, presented by Turbo Dork, and hand you the microphone. Who do you got to thank here tonight for making this 86 fuel last as long as it did?
Yes. I got to thank you, Roger, for everything you do. I'll definitely check the broadcast out tonight or tomorrow morning. All of our sponsors, I know Ryan, he sponsored this race, so that's awesome. Checker Flag, Auto Supply, and everything they do. Josh, he's all the time trying to figure out the schedule and always looking ahead and does an amazing job. Richard also. Don't really know what happened to him on my other teammate. Good job for DJ. Another good finish for him and all the guys. Good, clean race, and see you guys next week.
There he is, James Skelton, will pick up his second win of the season here tonight. He'll take home the big trophy tonight for the Turbo Dork 135. Goes to James Skelton. He'll take it back to South Carolina. The driver, though, that will finish second. Well, he came out of nowhere, brightly colored pink and blue car here tonight, DJ, and you will bring it home. P number 2, how did your night wind you up here in second?
Well, like James said, the poor qualifying. My second lap, I was 3.5 tenths to the good. So it would have put me close to being on pole, and I just got loose off of 4, and it just kind of screwed me. So I ended up starting 13th. And, the first pit stop, I was just far enough back. I think it made the difference. But like James said, I took 2 tires in the middle of the race just to kind of help me with my fuel strategy. And I think I got a little greedy because I wanted to make sure I saved enough in case I did win to do a burnout. So I had plenty of fuel at the end of the race. And, I don't like this track. It wasn't too fast, so I figured I'd just pull the fuel strategy. Getting beat by James doesn't feel too bad. I'd like to say that he learned a little from me as his time racing with us at Need for Speed about saving fuel. So it was nice to see him pull one out, winning it on fuel. But, it was a nice, clean race. Like you said, green flag all the way. Nice to see that. But, it just kind of sucks coming in second, but, I'll take it.
So a second place here tonight. Going to look good with that win that you picked up earlier in the season. A couple tough tracks. 3 different styles of racing coming up here next. We're heading to Myrtle Beach. We're going to Darlington. And then we head up north here to Pennsylvania to the Tricky Triangle. Tracks aren't the same, but which one do you think you can get?
Myrtle Beach and the ARCA car, like James, that's going to be kind of up in the air. We'll see. Darlington, I've always run pretty good at, especially in the trucks. And then Pocono Next Gen, I think that's going to be a kind of first for everyone. I don't think anyone's really raced the Next Gen car there. So who knows there, but Sonoma after that, not looking forward to that. But Kansas and Atlanta at the end, definitely looking at those. But with that win, I'm not really worried about anything. Just going to try out there and go and get some more wins and try to win as many as I can.
Well, you come up short here tonight of picking up the big trophy, but who do you got to thank? Because the car looks great, and it was very quick here tonight.
Thank you for putting this on. I love to go back watching it. Everyone here at Red Light, it's fun racing with these guys. Just kind of sucks being lonesome without my teammate this season. He's kind of taking a season off with everything that's going on. But hopefully he'll be back next year. So I'm kind of riding this one solo, so trying to make us proud for Need for Speed. We're locked into the playoffs, and really that's kind of what we're focusing on, is just trying to get ready for the playoffs. So we're just going to go out there and try to win as much as we can.
There you hear it. DJ Anderson tonight will finish P number 2 in the scoring, and he's already locked in, so it doesn't matter where he finished, he says. So congratulations to him. And the driver that's going to finish 3rd here tonight, he's representing the Turbo Dork colors on his number 98 here tonight. How about it, Ryan O'Donnell? What a night to pick up your first podium in quite a while.
I'm very excited about it. Talk about stressful, though.
Well, you talk about exciting. How about you walk us through this race? You say it was a little bit, nervous for you. How did you feel out there? Because the car looked good. It's just you had to start a little bit deeper in the field than you would have liked.
Started a little bit deeper than I liked. Started better than I thought I would. I guess I was listening to my teammates' pit strategy coming in 29 going to 30, realized that I would be 2 laps short on the 3rd stint, and so I started saving immediately and ended up running out of gas in 1 and 2 right after the start-finish line, so that was a good idea on my part.
You talk about fuel saving. How hard is it to fuel save, especially at these big tracks, knowing you have to keep the momentum wound up here and still be as fast as those guys like Skelton and Anderson that were out in front of you?
I knew there was no way I was going to catch Skelton, and Anderson passed me halfway, 2/3 of the way through that stint. So my goal was keeping Troutman far, far behind me, and he would have had me in 1 more lap too if it didn't end when it did. So again, stressful, heart in the throat.
You talk about stressful with the racing, but then you got the Turbo Dork on the car here tonight, who, put the sponsor up for the Texas race here with Red Light Racing. How does it feel having Turbo Dork represented on the car and the sponsor here at Texas?
Oh, it feels so good. I'm so proud to have these to sponsor these colors on my car. I love representing Turbo Dork. I love everything they do, so I would fingers crossed for many more races with them.
Well, they're on every single one of your cars, so we look forward to seeing it on the car next week and the week after that. And they are some of the sharpest cars out there onto the speedway, that is for sure. Ryan, before we let you go, the floor is yours to thank all the people that make it possible back home in Michigan.
Well, start with Greg and Meredith and everybody over at Turbo Dork. Thank you very much for sponsoring the race, for sponsoring the car, and look forward to working with them in the future. Huge shout out to my grandmother, my dad, my brother, my uncles. They're always watching and tuning in every week. And big shout out to James and Richard, my teammates. I would not have gotten this far without their strategies. And a big shout out to you up in the booth. Thank you for doing this every week.
There you hear it. Ryan O'Donnell will finish P number 3 here tonight in the Turbo Dork Radical Paints number 98. He'll play the fuel strategy like they all did here tonight, but he was able to outlast some of his competition. So James Skelton picks up the big trophy here tonight, presented by Turbo Dork Radical Paints. DJ Anderson was 2nd, and Ryan O'Donnell will round down the podium. And it looks like Ethan Troutman was 4th across the line with Chris Hammett and 5th. Michael Trevarthen was 6th. Eric Johnson unofficially 7th. Jason Wells, Jeffrey Souza, and Cole Day round down the top 10. That's how your top 10 unofficial results look here tonight as we get ready to leave the Texas Motor Speedway. Well, Texas is in the books. They say they do it bigger in Texas. That is for sure. They had to extend these gas runs here tonight for these cars a little bit longer, a little bit bigger than they normally would have. Next week, though, we're going to play in the beach. From the hot Texas heat all the way to the nice luxury breeze down on the beach at the Myrtle Beach Speedway on October the 3rd is where we will play with the ARCA machines for 150 laps at the beach. Can't wait because, the Myrtle Beach Speedway may no longer be in the real world side of things, but because of the iRacing.com platform, we can always live on in the legacy here with the Myrtle Beach Speedway on iRacing.com. We got to thank, of course, Turbo Dork for coming on board here tonight, sponsoring tonight's race here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Race fans, are your metals dull and boring? Slap some bright metallics from Turbo Dork to make your gray world colorful. Head on over to turbodork.com to order your colorful hobby paints today. You can get your hobby paints looking as good as these cars that were on the Speedway, courtesy of our friends over at Turbo Dork. Make sure to hit them up today. You can search them over at Google just like that. Just whip out that old search bar, type it in turbodork.com, hit search, you'll find them over there. We got to thank them for everything they do here with Red Light Racing, just like we got to thank our friends over at the Checkered Flag Auto Supply for jumping on board this season once again and taking the naming rights. The Checkered Flag Auto Supply is located in Ayer, Massachusetts on Park Street. They have everything of all your automotive needs, from brake pads to suspension parts and even motor oil to keep your car lubricated and running well on the road. But that's gonna about do things here from the Texas Motor Speedway. So for everybody at Turbo Dork, Checkered Flag Auto Supply, Red Light Racing, and all of us here at the Turn 3 Racing Network, we hope you enjoyed tonight's show here from the Texas Motor Speedway. And until we see you next time at the Myrtle Beach Speedway, everybody stay safe, and we'll see you in Turn 3.